about the NBA. And shout out to the homie Two Raw for TV. He spoke on this briefly, and now I'm going to speak on it. So now the NBA recently announced some tournament that's going to go on like between basically the first month of the season, and it's going to end like the first couple of days of December, and it'll have like some kind of, you know, form of a finals in Las Vegas. I'm just gonna say this: Adam Silver is screwing up the NBA. Now he's turning this into like a circus, and he's taking away the respectability and the credibility of the NBA. First of all, he said it's gonna help determine seeding and all this kind of stuff. Listen, I said this years ago about the NBA. Why not just do like a bracket? Why don't they just do, instead of doing a East Coast, West Coast, just like they tried with the All Star, where they had, captains and all that kind of stuff, the leading All Star voters. How about they just do a bracket where basically at the end of the season, the team with the best record, or had, the best records, the top 16 teams, you know what I'm saying, go to the playoffs. Why don't they just do it like that? They can have bracket one and then bracket two. Instead of doing East Coast, West Coast, they just go by basically record wise. They take two brackets. You can have one play eight and do it like that, and then have two play 16, and then so on and so on and so on till you get to basically the final. The one is your these gigs, playing tournaments just to get an extra. You already had this load management stuff that a lot of people don't like. Me myself, I'm kind of cool with load management, but as you and particularly a lot with Kawhi Leonard and Ben Simmons and those kind of dudes, you gotta just keep it 100. Ben Simmons is kind of, you can make the argument that Ben Simmons is a bust. You know where he is now, a few years later, you can make an argument that he's a bust. But all the stuff that they're doing, and then NBA seriously has a crisis with their personnel, their players. You have this stuff going on with John Morant. Then you got Zion Williamson, who basically is literally about to become Mount Zion because he says he has a weight problem that he can't wait to eat. And you would think with all the talent that Zion Williamson have, he about to eat himself out the NBA, and eventually he won't have no money really to start paying that child support, all that child support he's about to be paying now that he seemed to have at least two women pregnant that we know about, you know. So I'm just saying that here's Zion Williamson say on Gilbert Arenas podcast that basically when you have money, it's hard for you to, maintain your weight. That's complete BS. But then I'm gonna say this is a reflection of what the male role model Zion must have been around, because obviously his stepfather wasn't a good father figure. You know, he wasn't around no real G's that basically, because he definitely wouldn't be in this situation. You look at the situation with Zion, where Zion has all the talent in the world. It's the reason why he's the number one overall pick. He's committed to like, you know what I'm saying, impregnating women. He seemed to like it raw. But hey, that is what they do. But I'm saying in this day and age, you just got to be careful. He just don't seem to. He committed to not pulling out. I'll just keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? And then now you look at this with Rant. They seem to have been some kind of arrest at his house over some kind of incident that happened. Now I'm gonna say this much: for people that's sitting up here celebrating that this stuff is happening to John Morant, shame on you. Now, to be honest with you, at this point in time, do you really trust the Miz? You know what I'm saying? The Memphis PD based off what they're involved in. They got like, and you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. And they got a police chief, if I'm not mistaken, that has a questionable uh, past because she was basically let go for, to a certain degree, cover up and suppressing evidence and that kind of stuff, withholding evidence. So I'm just saying, you sure this ain't some picnic that they may be having with John Moran or a pile? So I'm playing this by ear. You know, I'm playing this by ear. But John Moran is already suspended anyway. So what more can they do? He's already suspended. So I mean, I mean, so I'm just saying, dude. I mean, what's gonna come out of this? I mean, he already suspended, so I'm just, I'm just, keeping it 100. And these just got to be said. I mean, the NBA is just having some serious issues. Then, um, you have this thing with, yeah, Victor, Wembanyama. You got this situation with him and Britney Spears. And by the way, it appears that Britney Spears, in the words of Orange Juice, she go busted. And I'm gonna speak on her because now it makes all the sense in the world why she was doing this cloud chaser stuff. And keep in mind, I already kind of like blew her out the water. Basically, her being clueless, acting like she don't know how this works, being a celebrity and running up on people, touching them and stuff. So now it makes all the sense in the world. She was trying to sell a book. But like I said, the NBA has a serious image problem. She had a book that was already coming out. This is basically, to me, it looked like it was a publicity stunt at the expense of, that young man. And then, this fake I am woman, hear me roar. No, we're tuning y'all out. We don't want to hear you roar. We don't give a damn at this point because a woman get all the privileges in the world for the most part. For the most part, they get to lie on people. They get to, call a person to be deleted. They get to ruin people's reputation, and then there's never no consequences or repercussions, damn near. So I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm so, you know what I'm saying? I'm so done with that. And I'm just keeping it a buck with Britney Spears. She just an ambulance chaser. I knew she wasn't no fan. You never heard about her attending no NBA draft and all that stuff. She probably never even heard of that dude talking about she a big fan. I bet you she couldn't tell you what college he came from. So you know. So with that being said, this stuff with Adam Silver. Adam Silver has went from solid to terrible. he's he's like one of the worst commissioners in in basketball that I've ever seen. And I was not, and I couldn't stand David Stern. I couldn't stand David Stern because I thought David Stern was a dictator, and I thought he had little man complex, and I thought he thought that people came to see him, and I think he thought to a certain degree he was just as big a star as some of the players because I thought he spent too much time in the media, you know, making it about him, trying to find some way to keep his name afloat from coming up with that ridiculous dress code, which I thought was absurd, and then just some other stuff he did. So I'm just saying, man. But this stuff Adam Silver doing with these goofy gimmicks and stuff, because this stuff is a gimmick. And like I said, you wearing the players down. They already got to play 82 games. This is why these players wanted. This is why these players was talking about. We want a 70 game season and all this stuff. So now basically with these playoff tournaments and stuff now. If you have to play in a playing tournament now, you can play anywhere from 80, 84 to 85 games. And then that's not including the playoffs. If you're gonna add all these goofy tournaments and stuff, if you're gonna add a playing series where you have to play into the playoff, then the NBA need to go back to the old school format where they play best out of five in the first round. At the end of the day, if a team that's supposed to be the number one seed, they get upset, that's on them. Then that mean they wasn't as good as they thought they was or as we thought they were. Because to sit up there and change the rules and stuff because the Denver Nuggets upset, I think the Seattle Supersonics, and Seattle Supersonics was the number one seed at that one time, and then basically they won in 5 games, something like that. This was a while ago. This was years ago. So then they decided, oh, well, we're gonna play the best of seven. They need to go back to the old format because I think in Major League Baseball they still in the first round play the best of five. Then they play best of seven. But the NBA so greedy and they want to get as many games possible in so where they could try to get all this extra sponsorship money. They still not thinking about the players and how that impact the play. People come see the players. They don't come see Adam Silver and they don't come see the whoever the referees are. And they're wearing down their players. People need to just put that out there. Like I said, this stuff is stupid. It's stupid. You think Michael Jordan would have ever went for something like that? Michael Jordan then wouldn't have went for no tournament like at the beginning of the season. And it's meaningless. Well, the next thing you know, get out of here with all these picks, man. Like I said, Adam Silver need to chill on this, man. He needing it. Like, stop it, man. Get rid of all these gimmicks in the NBA that you got. What you need a tournament when the season is just beginning. Like I said, if you want to do some new things to make the NBA more interesting, get rid of the East West Coast thing and just have a chance to be in the playoffs. And then you brag based off, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, you have the one seed play you can either have the one play you can have one seed play so on and so on and so on. It's not that hard to figure this out. It's not that hard to figure this out, man. It's not that, for real. This stuff is just getting stupid. And Adam Silver is he destroying the NBA. Eventually, people ain't even gonna take this seriously. The ratings have been dwindling for a minute now, and now people got these gimmicks. It's really starting to look like that movie with what was that movie with Will Ferrell? What was that movie with Will Ferrell about the ABA? I mean, come on, let's start to see where he was having all these like just stop it. Enough is enough. Like I said, what's next? What's next? The mid-season playoffs or the mid-season what you gonna keep having tournaments? He have to understand they do play 82 games, right? I understood when they added the Western Conference, the Western Conference MVP versus the Eastern Conference MVP, but this other stuff, stop it.